Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is great to be with you. So many people seem to be on spring break. I'm wondering, are you on your spring break? Are you having a good time? Are you just having a great Monday? Are you having heaviness? How are you feeling today? How's it going for you? Whatever it is, I'm just here to presence and know that what we're going to share today, the power of surrender, part two, this is our second in the series that we're doing of six, is going to help you to experience some sort of a breakthrough, new realization, or a reminder at a minimum of what you need to hear today that helps you to move through some things to help you rock your sacred purpose, to start seeing new results in terms of your vibration and what you're manifesting, attracting, through your business and all that good stuff, and just, really, really honoring who you are and bringing that forth into the world. So I'm looking forward to doing all that with you today. We are going to do some energy scanning and channeling as always. My intention is to keep this live a little bit shorter today. Okay, so the rhythm and pattern for my day is I've got my girls are here for spring break, and so probably keep it a little shorter today due to all the priorities today, but also just feels true for me. And so I'm going to spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about the power of surrender and how it's not what maybe you think it is when you hear just the word, oh, it's all about surrendering, and what does that mean? So we're going to get more into the details of that today. And then I'm also going to, share more with you overall about how to really honor, the truth of who you are. How do you do that? How do you go about really knowing who you truly are and honoring who you are? If you're like me, you're a little bit more of a complex type of person. You're not like, hey, no offense. Like, I'm not making it better or worse, but like, we're not just basic meat and potato kind of people. We're empathic. We're 1 minute we believe we're ready to save all the squirrels in the world, and then tomorrow maybe we want to save the whales, and that's our thing. And if you're like that at all, like, you're definitely in the right place, because I know that my tribe has some of that in you. You're multi-passionate, you're creative, you're super smart, whether you believe it or not, you are, and you have in your lifetime in your own way been a high achiever. You've achieved so many great things. And so if that's you, you definitely tune in today. All right, so the power of surrender, what's this all about? I want to talk more about it. So last time, if you want to go back and listen to the last one, just to quickly review, we talked about the idea of, how much of our life is just a story. It's just like some carnival going on in our mind, and then it manifests as this sense of this reality happening out here. Oh my God, it's so crazy, this life I'm living. And we forget, like, oh yeah, that came through my consciousness or through my energy, or it's coming to me for a reason, right? And really surrendering to that truth, like that we understand that there's a purpose and a deeper reason why things are happening in our lives. Great to see you all here, Brian, Melanie, and Kiva. Yes, hello from Iowa and Maryland. That's so fun. So we talked about willpower and how, that can be all great, but it has limits and all that. And we also talked about the practice tip for last week was to, before engaging in something, is to feel that presence within, surrender to the presence within. That was the sort of surrender we talked about last time, and then proceed with action. So a lot of times what we do is we jump in, we get a little too reactive or get ahead of ourselves, and we're not syncing with the presence within. And so one of the keys is just to pause or hesitate before you jump into something. It could just be a half a second even, but just to feel that presence within and then move forward, and to allow that to be part of your practice of the power of surrendering in your life. Okay, so today what are we going to talk about? Okay, again, we're talking about what surrender is from my perspective, and also how it's not what you think it is. So surrender actually can have many different ideas and perspectives. So I actually don't have just one concept about surrendering. Surrendering, though, for me, ultimately, if I were to define it, is really getting to the truth of who you are on every level, not just the namasteer that you are, or the God in you is the God in me, and being in that space and that connection. That's beautiful. That is amazing. That can be enough in a sense, right? Then again, we have our unique soul signature as an energy imprint. We see it in human design, astrology, the gene codes, whatever, all the systems. Like, there's so many different systems of understanding people. So we have all these different, the Enneagram or Myers-Briggs, right? So there is a truth to it. There's a truth to that. We aren't just these eternal beings, and we're all completely the same, and that's the only aspect to who we are. No, we have a unique signature, and we do have soul groups and all that stuff, right? So there's a truth to that, and there are all these different energies that we are moving forward with in this world. So where issues come in for us on our journey here through all these lifetimes is when we're not really honoring the truth of who we are on multiple levels. And the two levels I'm talking about today would be the specific energy signature that you are and the eternal self that you are. And we're not surrendered to that, because not being surrendered means that we're fighting up against it. All right, I don't need the presence. What's that crap about? All you need is willpower. Focus on what I want to manifest. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Really have it right now, and all that stuff. And you can make that work for you and to a degree. And then all of a sudden, the pain comes up. And you're like, yeah, but I can move through that too. And boom, boom, bing, bing. Okay, I feel better. The outer looks good. Therefore, my inner is good, right? Then something else comes up. Boom, bing, bing, bing. Before you know it, you keep doing these rounds, right? And but the ability to keep manifesting without fundamentally shifting deeper becomes very limited. So you only can get so far by using LOA principles to try to activate things. Now, you may change, right, using LOA principles. Don't get me wrong. You may change the nature of your attunement with alignment with who you are on every level to a degree through all that, but often has limitations where we're just doing these affirmations. I want my $1 million. I want my car. I want my bigger vacation. I want more stuff. Or, and the truth is there's something far deeper that's the truth of who we are. And we just simply put, this deep surrender is about wanting to experience, all of who we are. This deeper surrender is about wanting to experience all of who we are. Spiritually, in terms of a personality, is an energy signature of who you are. I could get more complicated than that and say, no, there's 1,000 more layers. Daniel, you read these books here? Let me send one to you. Okay. I get all that, but I'm just saying, if we just simplify it, there's the eternal self, and then there's what we might call your energy signature, and maybe we call that a personality or something like that. But if we just look at the energy, I'd say it's more, I guess probably more accurately put as your energy signature. I'd probably go with that more than a personality. And then, all these energies that are moving through us, what may reflect differently within our personality could totally change at any time, because how we're in relationship with our energies is what determines what people say is our personality, and their own judgments and their own projections, of course, right? So, oh, you're showing up like that, you're a mean person. Oh, you're like that, you're a nice person. Wow, you're really considerate and generous there, but you're totally miserly in other ways, but nobody might see that, or other people think you're really cheap, but you're super abundant and generous in other ways. They don't see that, right? So people are constantly misperceiving us and have their own judgments about who we are based on their own stuff, right? Their own concepts and thoughts. So anyway, I could babble on forever here, but the truth around this power of surrender is really surrendering to the frequency of who you just naturally are, as a soul here on this planet. So who is that if you were to put words to it? Of course, when we put words to it, it's not, ultra precise, but it gives some idea to it, right? Some sense of it. A lot of people in spirituality don't like to do that, right? So they're like, let's just go to the nothingness and let's just stay there, because then we don't have to even entertain all these concepts that may not be even real. But there is a realness to it. Some of us, like, look at all the spiritual teachers out there. We got Deepak Chopra, we got Eckhart Tolle, we've got Neil Donald Walsh, we've got who else? Anybody else you can think of? We've had Louise Hay, we've had Dr. Wayne Dyer, sort of a spiritual teacher for sure, right? We have all these people. Now, would you say all of them carry the same energy frequency? Hell no. Are they just all eternal one and they're just all faces of the one same thing? True, but they have different faces, and that's important. Surrendering is starting to realize the more truth of our true face, of the energy signature of who we are, rather than how we've twisted our energy to be a personality or a concept in the world that we think the world wants, or that will get us ahead, and all those sorts of things, right? Well, let me just twist my being this way or that way, and then I'll perceive that to be better for me or for others, or it'll keep me safe, and then I'm good. Surrender, when we're talking about surrender, it's surrendering to the true energy of who you are. Who are you as an energy signature? So we can look through, like with energy scanner, right? I can go through your chakras and I can tune in, or I can tune into, any aspect of your energy and being, basically, and to understand. But a chakra is just one of those foundations that we use. Hi, Jean. Good to see you. Hi, Kiva. We said hello too. Melanie, thank you for your comments. And Jackie, hello. All right, so what am I getting at? I'm going on, and what am I getting at? Okay, so what's your deeper truth that you're not claiming in your life? Okay, one of the things is that, like, I've had this, maybe you've experienced something like this. I've had this sense of challenge, or challenge, let me put it that way. I'll use that word, challenge, of being somebody who is very tuned in, can be very namaste and very soft energy, heart-filled, and even a transcendent frequency of the light, right? I can emanate that, I can be that. People can just be like, oh my gosh, Daniel, that's so beautiful. But I also have like energy in me that is here to ruffle feathers and tip over apple carts, and not out of Jesus knocking over the tables, in the church, the money changers tables, right? Was he an ego at that moment? You could perceive it that way. I guess you'd have an argument for that, right? Ego would have an argument for that. Or you could see it as like he's trying to make a point that's helping people attune to something that he's helping to wake them up to, right? So for me, that's how I see that part of myself. Of course, I could put it into ego. Watch all the things I could do. I'm going to kick this thing over. I'm going to do this and do that. Okay, now we're in ego. Now is ego all bad? Not necessarily, right? You can't really get it wrong. That's going to bring some other sort of results, some other sort of experiences. We're meant to experience all different sorts of things. But we may not really want that in the end, right? We might be like, wow, that's a little bit carried away, like me always trying to prove myself. I think I'm going to reel that one back in. It's not about proving myself. It's about, me just being me, or whatever the new affirmation comes. So for me, I've had an ability at times to be very transcendent in my connection with power, and to be able to win the day, so to speak, in so many different ways, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's manifesting whatever I want, healing, winning little silly games that I play with people, whether it's sports or, board game, whatever, getting my way in the world. Like, I literally break a law, like little ones, like not like anything major, but break a law, and I get away with it because I already got it all arranged in the energy. All right, do what I want. Nobody cares. They leave me alone. basically to be able to the power to be able to manipulate energy and to get what you want. And again, it has limits because eventually it catches up. So I have that ability. I also have the ability to not care so much and be like, whatever's arising, it's all well and good, and I'll just stay here and be that sort of surrender, right? Oh, I'm just surrendered into the eternal. And but what about the part that wants to come out and set the world on fire in a good way, right? What about that part? Oh, well, that's just arising. It's just we'll just wait for it to rise, only if it arises. Um, but then, often what I find is within myself, and I see with the people I'm working with, is if the brakes are on subconsciously on that part of your being, it won't naturally arise nearly as much, right? So what you want to do is you want to move through the blockages, move through the stuff, and also to releasing and embracing. So we release the stories. Oh, wow, when I show up that way, it's too much, and everybody gets upset. Or if that were my story, that's not my particular story, but it might be yours. Okay, that's an issue. So let's release that program. All right, that's not true. Somehow I created this story and that became my reality. I'm surrendering the fact that I'm not too much. I'm coming to a deeper truth. I'm not too much. It's exactly what the world needs. Hallelujah, I got it. Okay. And then it's more about, releasing the false beliefs and anything else, but then it's also embracing it too. Okay, I'm going to put my attention and focus on the fire starter that I am. I'm going to start embracing that. That's it. I have that in me. But then if I were to believe, like, I'm supposed to be a column of fire and kick ass all day, well, that would be completely false. Like, that's just not who I am. It's not my nature. My nature, at its foundation, has a very Zen vibration, but within the entire dynamic mix, there are just like in a symphony or whatever, like whatever they call those, right? Those songs, but like there's big, all this soft energy right now. It's like boom, 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 like comes in there, like I've got all that, right? We all have a certain level of that in us. So it's a matter of are we being true to who we are and all the different notes of our being. I'm just using some really basic examples, but it could be nuanced. Like, okay, I've got huge psychic abilities and gifts, but I keep acting like, I don't know how to tune in. I don't know anything. I'm innocent, is basically what you're saying because of past life persecution. It's like, oh my God, why don't you just, you've got this infinite intelligence riding through you, and you're not showing up, you're not acting like it. What are your false beliefs? I'll be persecuted. Okay, let's release that one. And then it's just surrendering to who you are. And ultimately, it's this, to me, I look at it as, I say embrace everything, but, it's just, the fastest way is to just surrender to who you are. So you don't have to do as much belief work and I'm trying to embrace, I'm trying to release these blocks. But what if, you could just let go today at a deeper level and just say, just foundationally say, my life, I'm going to surrender to my truth of who I am on every level. That's my practice. Like it's a kind of a meta mindset, almost, if you want to call it that you're in that way of being in your life. And so wherever you see you're not surrendering to who the true nature of who you are as an energy signature or collection of signatures in the world, that you just start to notice that, and you're like, okay, I need to surrender here and there, and I need to. That's it. I notice how I'm hesitating when I talk to people in my relationships. I'm going to be more direct now, or boy, I'm so direct in my relationships, which wouldn't be true probably for anybody here, but I'm so direct, I'm going to start using more telepathic, indirect communication with people, right? So, I'm always so certain of everything. Well, maybe you need to embrace the uncertainness within you, because that's part of who you are, and it's an aspect of yourself that you need to lean into more. So what I'd like you to do today is the action step is to look at, and we can do it through the scanning too if you want me to tune into you, what are the things within yourself that need more attention? Therefore, what are you meant to surrender into? It could be surrendering into, I need to surrender into massive action finally, damn it. Or I need to surrender into stopping doing so many actions and surrender into just being finally, right? Like it's not just one thing. What's true for you, and it can keep changing. I thought it was all about being now, and now I realize I'm inspired to take these actions. Oh, I thought it was all about action. And then I wonder about being. It's like, and then there's an unfoldment of your being, right? And you're surrendering to that every step along the way. So what is that for you? I mean, where are you been congested and resisting? So it's like, where are you resisting? Where you need to surrender into being who you are and honoring that. Often I would just say that it tends to be have a mix of feeling enlivening and dynamic, and also peaceful and joyful and flowing. When you're in that place of really surrendering, it is a transcendent state. It is an ongoing practice, but when you're really in that connection with just being surrendered to who you are, it just feels you feel very natural. Then something comes in that impinges upon your thought systems about life, and therefore impinges upon your own thoughts about your own nature, and all of a sudden then you start acting off your nature. Oh, I'm worried about that aspect. Boy, I've got a greedy nature in me, and every time I see greedy people in the world, man, I just start shutting down, and I just start thinking about how little I need in my life, and how I'm going to give all my money away, and all this stuff, and then you complain you don't have any money, for example, or something like that. So you start to, oh man, I need to start getting more greedy, whether it's with your time or with your money or whatever, without judgment, that you're surrendering to this sense of greed. And the truth is, it only becomes an issue the minute you start judging it. I firmly believe the only thing we suffer from are these erroneous judgments. These erroneous judgments we have of ourselves. Perhaps any judgment of ourselves. I don't know if there is a correct way to judge ourselves necessarily all the time or not. But erroneous judgments, certainly. That's the only thing we really suffer from. That we naturally have everything in ourselves. We have the giver, we have the thief, we have the greedy one, we have the all-loving, infinite part of ourselves, and all that's within us, regardless of what all the charts and everything else. People come up with any system in the world and say this is who you are, and it's still far more in depth than that. It's far more than that. No, you look at so many systems, they could write out books and books about you, and it still doesn't adequately describe who you truly are. Therefore, it's only pointers. It's only a guide. And we're to surrender to what we intuitively, I suppose we could say, intuitively know that is true for us. Where are you holding back? So the action step, where are you holding back right now in your life? Are you holding back on action? Are you holding back on being? Are you holding back on generosity? Are you holding back on, being a little bit more with your boundaries and being more like, no, I'm keeping this for myself? Are you needing to open to receiving more? You need to surrender there. And you need to surrender to being more vulnerable, having more fun. Me, like being a goof. I've had to surrender to that at times when I got too serious, right? So it's like, are you being yourself? Where are you being called to surrender in your life, in your state of being, or however it shows up to you? But today, particularly, I'm looking at your state of being. What is your truth? Do marketers, like in your business, do marketers come in and say, this is what you should be doing, this is the way to make money, this is who you are, this is how I see you? And yet part of you is like, yeah, and then you got to honor that, to surrender to your own truth. What just keeps showing up, keeps washing up on the shore as your truth. And you're like, no, that's not it. I want this instead. I'll use LOA. But there it is. It just keeps coming in. The same old gifts keep coming in, but you keep saying, no, send it back. That's not what I wanted. But yet the gifts keep coming in, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant things, right? The gifts keep coming. And are you willing to listen, to surrender, and to listen to the deeper truth? Because it's right there in front of you. It keeps showing up. Each moment, every day, it keeps coming. And are you willing to embrace what is, rather than say, now let me make a judgment. Do I want this or not? I'm the creator of my reality. Therefore, I say Send it back. I got a better idea. You know, that instead embrace what comes in. Yeah, we can use LOA, sure. But let's embrace what's coming in. Let's embrace all the gifts that are here for us. Everything, however it looks. I don't like green gifts. I don't like green. It's like green eggs and ham, right? Old doctors, I don't like green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. But what if you could just embrace? No, I mean, I could embrace green eggs and ham. I mean, I don't know if I want to eat them, but I can embrace them. I can acknowledge that they're here and embrace it and kind of feel into what it's saying to me. You know, by it being in my life. Okay, what's that saying? I'm about the money. That's what it is. The greens. Give me the greens. It's whatever it is. It's like just to embrace it. Oh, okay. That's coming more from that soul power rather than ego, mind, your distorted personality stuff that says, I need that. Once I have that, then I'll be happy. That's where we get into trouble, right? Okay, Kenton, good to have you here. And let's see who else I see here. And Kiva, yep. Persecuted in the past life. Heck, I've been persecuted in this life because of who I am, right? LOL, I think of the past to the point of worrying about that anymore. Yeah, getting past that. Jean says, I'm holding back on action due to fear of failure or vulnerability. Yeah, exactly. Like it's a lot safer to just be like, well, I'm this very enlightened being. I don't need anything. I'm just going to be here. Because that's all there is anyway. It's just here, right? Yeah, there's something inside you says, come on, let's do this, let's do that. Oh, that's all part of what I'm supposed to just let go of, right? Okay, just let go of all of it. I'm just here. I'm coming back into the light, and I'm going to transcend. I'm going to ascend. Let's go. Oh no, you can't fool me. I'm going to stay right here. And it's like, how do you know your transcendence isn't going to happen by listening to some of that? Oh, I'm ready to go. You know, like that actually may be the thing you need to do to transcend. How do you know by being more vulnerable that you aren't stronger, right? I mean, these are not new ideas, but how do we know that by being vulnerable, I'm actually 1,000 times stronger? Gene, you've been very vulnerable at times on your journey. I know. I mean, I know you enough to know that. And, you know, the fear of failure, I mean, that's a great one these are great ones for everyone that you're bringing up right there in the past life persecution. Fear of failure. And then I wonder if we have fear of success and then the sense of being, you know, like imposter syndrome, right? Ahead of time. Oh, maybe I'd be an imposter to have that level of success, so I'm not going to put myself in that place in the first place, right? That way I'll never be an imposter. So we're not surrendering to the path because we believe we could be an imposter. And it's just not true. It's not, could it ever be true? Who knows? But it's just not true that what you're thinking there, right? So what's true is it just would unfold. The minute you have a judgment about what's unfolding and happening is where there's an issue. I'm going longer than I thought I would with all this today, but this is good. It's just like, have you ever gotten involved in doing something and at first you're really good at it, and the minute they start trying to teach you how to do it, all of a sudden your performance went down? I've experienced that before, 100%. Well, you're really good. You're really natural at this. Let's coach you up. Let's coach you up on how to do it. Okay, start coaching me up, and now I'm no good at it. You know, like I'm nowhere near as good. So what if somebody came along and says, wow, that's great. You know, I just noticed if you just kind of, you know, do it this way or that way, it might even give you better results. But start with the foundation. You're already whole, folks. That's the kind of support you need. People that can see you as already whole as who you really are, and then let that come into action, into fruition, expression, beingness, however you want to look at it. And then we can say like, whoa, wow, you could amplify this a little bit more, bring this part out, or I noticed this little thing's hiding inside you, and why don't you let that come out and play, or why don't you just chill out, or, you know, whatever it is. But you get guidance from that place to really, again, it just comes back to surrendering to who we are. All right, so I'm kind of getting, to kind of wind this part down, but just look at it. Just ask for yourself, what have you been avoiding? What are you not surrendering to? So surrender to the idea that I could be a failure. Okay, I could be a total failure. Great, I'm surrendering to the idea of that, knowing it's not true, but I'm surrendering to the idea that I could fail. Okay, I could totally fail. All right, great. Now what's possible? Everything, right? So within the sense of failure, everything becomes possible. Within the sense of, boy, what if I'm totally vulnerable? Well, I mean, wow, I could just look ridiculous and it could be horrible or whatever the idea is. Like, okay, I'm just going to surrender that. All right, it could be horrible. Okay, I'm going to accept that as reality. Could be what my mind considers horrible, even knowing that that's not even going to be true, but there's my concept. All right, I'll embrace that. Okay, surrender, and I'm just going to surrender to being vulnerable. Because just to embrace and come to peace with all the possible consequences your mind thinks could happen. Okay, somebody's could chop my head off, just like the pastor. All right, where's the problem in that? Okay, there they are. They're going to chop your head off, all right? But they haven't chopped off your head. You got a problem? No. Okay, they're starting to sharpen their axe. So you got a problem? No. Now they're starting to wind up the swing to chop your head off. You got a problem? No. Now they chopped your head off. You got a problem? No. So you do not have a problem, folks. You just don't have a problem. We keep thinking there's these phantom problems. The number one thing is that we're just creating these encumbrances for ourselves. That's the real thing that we suffer from. It's just the encumbrances we create for ourselves. It's not what might unfold. It's the encumbrances that we put around it. So you might question, oh, okay, why does this guy want to cut my head off, right? So that would be a good question, but if it were to happen, is to surrender to it. Okay? Oh my God, well, that would be horrible. That would be the worst thing possible. It could happen. It could happen. Is it really the end of the world? At what point does it become the end of the world? There's literally not a time when it becomes the end of the world, or, so to speak, or a problem. All right, so, okay, I got on more of a rant today than I thought I would. All right, so, yeah, let me know, keep me posted here on what's resonating, and then I can do some scanning. Let's see. Love the vibe, Daniels Rock, your sacred purpose, tribe. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's just so weird, the scrolling thing here. Okay. So you surrendered to persecution, accept the fear, yeah. So what? Still infinite. Exactly. Can't touch me. I'm invincible, right? I'm holding back. Okay, and I already had red jeans. All right, so if there's anybody that would like me to tune in to anything I'm picking up on your energy field, I know that's a kind of a vulnerable thing. But hey, we're all amongst infinite beings. We're all good, right? So if you'd like me to do a little energy scanning, you could say energy scanning, please. I'll energy scan along the lines of what we've been talking about today, particularly. So I can do some individual scans, and I could also maybe do a group scan. Most in the flow when I tune into my intuition, but I forget and start trying what others, follow the steps that experts tell me to. Yeah, I've fallen in that one too, Kiva. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing this intuitive, trusting myself for a long time. What if I actually try some of these things that sound smart? Let me try some of that instead. Oh yeah, guess what? Did it do some good things? Did I learn things? Yes. Did it work for the business and all that? Nope, totally didn't work. Because it didn't really fully connect for me. So it doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's easier, keeps me from having to accept responsibility, right? Okay, this program didn't work, that one. That 30 programs didn't work. That's still their fault. Never accomplished everything I could, so don't have to worry about stepping onto stage and being seen as my most powerful self. Right, exactly. Gene says, I would love that. What the heck? All right, great. So we're going to do an energy scan in a moment for Gene. Kiva, that's awesome. You guys, yeah, just to surrender to the idea of, like, if we're all afraid of being persecuted, fine. I'm tired of being here. Put my head right down. You can chop it off anytime you want. Here you go. Oh, my bald head here. But anyway, just, yeah, put it down. Go ahead. Take a good whack, whatever you want. I'm ready. It's all good. I won't judge you. I'm not afraid. Guess what? It's never going to happen when you do it that way. It's just never going to happen. Now, if they were already going to do it and you do that, it still might not happen because now your acceptance of it, it's a little iffy if it will happen or not, but you have more of a chance at least. All right, let's tune in to Jeannie. Okay. I don't know, it's interesting. It's like, feels like sort of like a Indian princess or something. Like this, like it feels sort of Native American. Oh, I'm getting that, and I'm here Aztec. So something with Aztec energy, like so. There's this Aztec Native. I'm saying Native American, but I don't know what to say. But that sort of vibe, princess energy. That wants to be embraced. Okay, what does that mean? Give you some more, point to more on that. Okay. I'm just getting like, it's just like, there's just such beauty in life. And to just, something about being willing to just, I know you do this, but like, there's just more that wants to come out around sharing the beauty of life. I've been with you in person, Gene, a number of times, whatever number of times, but number of times. And one of the things I do remember about you, that you may not even be fully recognizing, but I recognize in you is you understand this deeper beauty of life. You're connected to it. You honor, you appreciate it. But you judge yourself. You judge yourself. You've made yourself wrong in so many ways. So then that shrinks you down. That puts you in a place of, in moments of destitute, of what am I going to do? But when you come back to honoring this deep beauty of life, being more of that digital nomad, maybe you're still doing that, I don't know, but like what I seem to remember, you're like that, and it's coming to me to say now, and just like, man, my thing is just to take in the beauty of life, and I'm allowing that to inspire me to weave the quilt of creation that I'm here to share with people. So it could be through art, it could be through literally doing quilts, who knows? But it's helping people to appreciate the beauty of life itself. It's that simple. Like let's say it was like your entire jam in the world. I'm not saying it is necessarily, but let's say it was. Like, what can that quality alone, helping people surrender to that one truth, what could it do for people? Hey, how could it change your life at every level of your life just by appreciating the beauty of your life? Your mind will say, what do you mean? Just gratitude? Kind of, but it's deeper than that. It's got a deeper connection. Deeper connection with the divine rather than just a mental, energetic, like, I'm grateful. No, it's like really being with the beauty, sinking into that beauty, radiating that beauty. But it's first acknowledging it. And again, people can use different words. You're really just saying presence, right? But there's a quality of like the beauty of life to pay attention to. That's one thing coming through today. Again, my mind always thinks I'm crazy, so I just hear what comes through. All right, let's see what else is next. I just see something about like the cross comes in. So I just see this like blessing things, and the blessing comes into the third eye. So let's see what that is. What do I perceive that to be about? Just double check. Yeah, that you're pointing to a higher calling and order of life that people can step into this beauty, into this grace, and that you can see and could perceive that through your intuitive senses for people, like you always have, but to really deepen there, Okay. The Emperor has no clothes. So like this sense of vulnerability, like you would be a great teacher to people in this way. Again, if you haven't already, Gene, I don't know what you're up to most recently necessarily, but like I could just see you like, okay, and the most like outlandish kind of thing, you're literally like there with no clothes with other women in a circle or something, right? Like, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but who knows, maybe it is, but I'm just saying, I'm just throwing something out there. But like something where you're coming into a place of deep surrender and vulnerability with yourself and with life and with each other. Yeah, there's something with that, yeah. Yeah. This surrender actually is a huge thing for you to be able to share with others. Letting go of this energetic knot. Okay, let's see about that knot some more real quick. It's like it's still vestiges of a slave energy. That's why you love independence so much, because the slave, like, no, you know, there's programs you gotta follow, you gotta do protocol, you gotta be like this, you gotta be like that. Your life's been like, ultimately, like, you followed some of that, right? You got totally into it, and you're like, no, I'm gonna show, screw all that, you know, we do what we want, maybe especially as women or whatever, but like, okay, we're meant to shine and share and big time, and then it's like how much of it is about, like, okay, you've done that, all right, so it's like you've got that going, all right, so now it's more like, okay, if you're totally free and there's no more slave program inside you, now what does that do to your energy? I see your heart just open, like I know you got a great heart, but like it just opens like massively. Let me just put it that way, like 10, 100,000 fold. Like you're just like, oh my God. So this might bring you in a state of just awe of life in a whole nother level. But then I feel like your life becomes more simplified in the places you want to travel, the things you want to do. Because what you love, your thing is like, let's keep the variety going. Then your mind's like, well, how's that going to work financially? But like, you're constantly planting lots of seeds. And so there's lots of seeds that you're planting. And then only X% need to fulfill for everything to be provided for your journey, financially and otherwise. Oh, that's what they're saying. The guidance is giving me. I'm like taking all these crazy angles and views and just not giving you exact answers and just pointing the way here with Gene today. Okay, great. So let's stop there. And Kiva's doing a little tuning in, it looks like, too there. All right, that's fun. That's cool. I'm just trying. Thanks so much. Is what I see there. This thing's a little funky. Sorry, guys. I'm picking up on a dark tunnel within your being. You might be afraid to explore. Definitely. There's definitely that as well. Truth is down there. It's brilliant crystals. Yeah, exactly. Like within, like you would be great too with shadow work, right? You've probably done a lot of that, Gene, anyway, but like just like the beauty of all the shadows and the darkness within you and letting those things be revealed. Totally agree with Kiva there. Yeah, getting the same thing. I'm grateful to share with you, Gene. So grateful to share with you. Okay, all right, well, how are we doing on our time today? Well, I can do some channeling for you all now. I didn't see any other requests necessarily for scans today, but Okay. All right, yeah, let's just go into that now, if you'll join me. Let's say I get a few channeled messages, then we'll do a channel prayer to wrap up in a moment. Before we do all that, actually, I need to remind myself is that I do have I am going to have a retreat, an online retreat for 3 days called The Power of Surrender. So that's coming up April 28th through the 30th. And so I've just started to have people signing up to that. We still have room. So we still have room for the retreat. And if you want to learn more about it, just say, yes, I'm interested, because we'll take all this deeper through meditation and me doing more scanning and prayer and channeling and more. So if you're interested, let me know. Yes, I'm interested in the retreat or something like that below, and I'll reach out to you to chat with you and also ultimately send you more information on it as well. Okay? So if you're interested in that, let me know. The Power of Surrender Virtual Retreat happening on April 28th to the 30th. Amen. And so it is. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let me tune in here. Okay, Master Jesus. Okay. Hold each other together in the eternal heart. The eternal heartbeat of life brings you back into the deepest treasures, recognizing your multifaceted nature is all glorious and beautiful at its core. Within the shadows, there's only more light to recognize and receive. Be willing to explore all facets. Thank you. Okay. Archangel Michael. Okay. Be firm, be clear, be decisive. Yes, surrender to your truth. Then open your energy with integrity to that which you will now allow it in your life, and be clear. And know, when you trust, being in your power, all fulfills itself in the most powerful and profound ways possible. Trust the deeper power within. Thank you. I'm kind of getting just those two messages as far as specific channelings. And we'll do a channel prayer. No? Okay. Take a nice deep breath then. In through your nose, up through your crown, chakra, up through your higher self, up to the love light source energy, up into the all in all. And as you exhale through your mouth, let this energy come back down through your higher self, down through your crown chakra, down through all your chakras, through the body, the auric field, down through your feet, down through your root chakra, down to the core of the earth. So I speak these words in the I am for everyone to listen to my voice. So I recognize God, love, light source, spirit is all there is. I'm grateful that life wants to experience this expansion and expression of all of who I am through me. As I surrender to the depths of who I am and my very multifaceted nature and embrace it all, I'm grateful that I do a shimmy shake into the world, being who I am and loving myself completely. So I love myself completely. I honor my brothers and sisters that are multifaceted in the world as well, and all beings, and know that from that place, the transcendent love in my heart leads and guides my way into ever greater things. From that place, I can honor and own my own power, my own sovereignty as well, that there isn't a contradiction, that I can be in my steel, be in my fire, be in my sovereignty of the being of who I am, knowing that I'm making a huge difference by being grounded and clear and decisive on what I know to be true about myself right now, ready to embrace all of who I am, surrendering to all of who I am, and knowing that from that place, I know I've been the so-called a victim and the persecutor. I know I've been that executioner and the one that got the head chopped off or whatever it may be. I'm grateful that I've been the thief and been stolen from. I honor all of it and I surrender to the depth of who I am within all of it. And knowing that I just all of it, by recognizing and owning and embracing all of it, I come deeper into surrender, deeper into my truth, deeper into the love that I am, and knowing that it's transcendent and all powerful. And from that clarity, I'm able to own more of the trueness of who I am and bring it forth to share it in the world and know that it's beautiful. As I own this beauty and I own the value of who I am, I know that it's making a huge difference in the world in a plethora of ways, known and unknown. So I'm willing to trust it. I'm willing to let go of all the formulas and concepts of who I am and what I should be doing in my business, and bring forth, let go of the monkey business, allow myself to bring the trueness of who I am forth in the way that feels true for me, and for the highest good of all I know is served in this way. So let it be so. I let it be done. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Okay. All right, everybody. Yes, thank you all so much. Thank you, Kiva. Thank you, everybody that's been here. Melanie and Jackie, excited, Kenton, everybody. You know, if I forgot your name, just thank you all. Just so grateful to always be with all of you, and look forward to being with you for part 3 of Power of Surrender. And that is coming up right around the corner on Monday next week at 3 p.m. Central. Okay. All right. Look forward to being with you then. Have an amazing, joyful, incredible week ahead. Look forward to being with you next time. Lots of love. Goodbye for now.